You guys, I'm in love. I'm in love with today's craft, you guys. It is so darn cute. I hope you love it as much as I do. I cannot wait to get into it. But first off, I want to do a quick hello and welcome to everyone, the OGs and the newbies. Thank you so much for coming and joining me today. Without you folks, I would be doing these tutorials by myself, and that's not as much fun. So I'm glad you guys are here to follow along and to make some cute crafts. Can I introduce you to the craft we're gonna do today? It is so stinking cute. Check this out. You guys, look how cute. It's a Joy Centerpiece Lantern. Look how cute. Oh my goodness, it says Joy. It's got the Christmas ornaments on the inside with a little bit of snow and some fairy lights. Yep, so stinking cute, you guys. Look at the bottle brush trees. So adorable. You guys, I love it, love it, love it. Could you see this on your centerpiece, on your table, or on an entryway? Just so cute. You guys, guess what? It's Dollar Tree. Absolutely Dollar Tree. There's a few things in here that isn't Dollar Tree, but for the most part, absolutely Dollar Tree. So it's affordable, you guys. Easy, super cute, and affordable. Love it, love it, love it. So stinking cute. It's about 13.5 inches wide and about 8 to 9 inches tall, depending on your trees. But you guys, super cute. Let's get started, okay? Let's quickly go over the supply list for, well, supply list and the tool list for this craft. I know it kind of looks like a lot, but really it's not that much. The main thing you're going to need are the Dollar Tree photo cubes. You're going to need 5 of those. You'll need 2 packs of the bottle brush trees, the 3-pack. There's 3 in these packs, unless you have your own, and then absolutely use your own. But you'll need 2 packs of the 3 set. You're going to need a box of the dusters, the 360 duster. You're going to need some small Christmas ornaments. You're going to need some Dollar Tree red vinyl, the permanent kind for the boxes. You're going to need either a ruler and a roller cutter, or you're going to need a slide paper cutter. I don't recommend using scissors when you're cutting the vinyl, because it would be a little bit more tricky. You can, but it will take a lot longer. So I recommend either a slide paper cutter or a rotary cutter and ruler. You're going to need a pack of the 56 poster sticker alphabet. They have several different styles. They have like 3 different fonts in the poster sticker. So it's completely up to you. You're going to need some fairy lights. You will also need some burlap. Mine's also from Dollar Tree. It's the burlap crafting fabric, the crafter's square. It's the 8.2 feet long. You're gonna need to cut a piece that is 13 inches by 2 inches. So that's all you'll need of the burlap. So if you have burlap laying around, or even ribbon, you can absolutely use ribbon, like 2-inch ribbon. Just cut you a 13-inch strip. The burlap needs to be cut into a square of 13 by 2. You will also need a little bit of twine for the bows on top of the Christmas trees. If you choose to do the twine, you could use ribbon. You could buy pre-made bows. I think even Dollar Tree carries small bows, so you absolutely can use that. Might need a little bit of rubbing alcohol and some Q-tips if you get some smudges on your boxes. So just keep that in mind. You will also need some decently sharp pointy scissors. I got mine also from Dollar Tree. I think it was in the garden section. You'll need some sort of sanding block. I used some fingernail file that also came from Dollar Tree. You'll need some wire cutters to cut the ends off of your trees, or cut them down. You're not going to cut them completely off, but you'll cut them down a little bit. You'll need a marker, piece of paper, like a 1-inch by 8-inch piece of paper to find center on your photo cubes. So I know that seems like somewhat confusing, but we'll go over all of this. I know it seems like a lot. You also need some paint of your choice. I chose to do my base in black, and I used the Craft Wise chalkboard paint, also from Dollar Tree. You're more than welcome to use any color you like. If you want to do green, so it'd be red and green theme, or you can do brown, or you can just leave it natural. It's completely up to you, but I went with black to make things pop. You will also need a board from Dollar Tree. The board that I chose was a little bit undersized for the boxes. The boxes on the end stick out just a little bit, and I kind of like that look. But the board that I chose was, it's a little over, it's about 11 3/4 by 3 inches. So you'll have to look for that. I know Dollar Tree sells several different sizes of boards, but you'll want it's a little bit shy of 12 inches by 3 inches. So you'll need one of those. You'll need a foam paintbrush. You will also need 5 cubes from the Woodcraft Cubes packet. That's a 36 piece. It's also from Dollar Tree, the Crafter's Square. You'll need 5 of the little, they're little 1/2-inch cubes. 5 of those if you choose to put little feet on the bottom, completely optional though. You will also need, if you would like, it's again also optional. I used for the joy, the O in joy, I used a little snowflake, but you can also use just the O in the alphabet. You also need like a piece of scrap board to put underneath your plastic cube when you drill a little hole in the top of your cube. You will also need a small 1/16 drill bit, a very tiny drill bit. You're only drilling a hole about the size of the bottom, the little stem on your bottle brush trees. So again, we'll go over that, but this is just a little overview. You need a glue gun and glue sticks. Not a whole lot, but you will need some. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and get started with the first step. The first step is painting our base. You're more than welcome to paint any color you wish. I chose to do black, and I did the Craftwise, the chalkboard paint from Dollar Tree, but you're more than welcome to do red or green or any color you want. I just went with black because I thought that it made the boxes pop out a little bit more. You're also gonna need 5 of the 1/2-inch cubes from Crafter's Square. There's a pack, I think, of like a 36 pack. You're gonna need 5, and you're gonna, out of that pack, you're gonna make sure that you choose 5 that are about the same height, and some are cut a little bit taller than the others, so you wanna make sure that they're all the same height. For the word joy, I went ahead and chose to get a snowflake for the O. You're more than welcome to actually use the O in the alphabet, but I thought using a little snowflake from, as you guessed, Dollar Tree at the Crafter's Square. This was in the holiday, well, I don't think it's Crafter's Square actually. I think it's in their holiday section, but I thought these were cute. It was also a little, just a little, I think any shape really would be cute, like even a little Christmas tree shape or something. You can use that as well, but you're more than welcome to use the O in the alphabet. And this is the board. It is just shy of 12 inches. It's a little less than 11 3/4, and it's about 3 inches wide. That's the board that I chose, and this is from the Crafter's Square, but Dollar Tree does carry other sizes as well, so you're more than welcome to do a wider board or even a longer board. It's totally up to you, but I really liked how this looked because it allowed the ends of the boxes to kind of tip over, not tip over, but overhang, and I just thought that looked pretty cute. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. So first off, we're gonna go ahead and cut off the string here. And these are little pointed scissors I got in the Dollar Tree section, or I'm sorry, the garden section of Dollar Tree. So yep, there's a theme here. Not sponsored, but hey, Dollar Tree, I'm listening if you're talking. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna glue one of these cubes in each corner of our board and then one in the middle. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip it over, and that's where I'm gonna put my feet. So what you wanna do is just glue one to each corner. Now you're more than welcome to offset it a little bit so it's away from the edge as well. You can absolutely do that. But I'm gonna go ahead and put mine flush to the corner. Just a little bit of glue, and then put it right at the corner. And then glue this corner. And turn it around, do this side. And this one's got a little bit of a boo-boo, so I'm gonna have him face on the inside so the smoother side is facing out. And then the last one's gonna go right in the center. You're more than welcome to measure it, but it really doesn't need to be exact. It just needs to be in the center to keep your board from bowing when you flip it over. And now our base is complete. It looks something like that. And now what you want to do is go ahead and put a coat of paint on your board and your snowflake. And don't forget the 4 sides, the 4 edges, and the 4 edges of your cube. You don't have to do the very bottom edge, this side and then this side. You just want to do the tops and the sides of everything. With the snowflake, you don't need a whole lot of paint. Matter of fact, it's almost better to just dry brush it a little bit so it doesn't get super gloppy down into the crevices. Just kind of almost dry brush it across the surface. And it's going to look something like that. The edges of my snowflake are where the laser has cut it. It's been burned, so it's a little bit on the darker side, which I like. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that, but you're more than welcome to paint all the edges. Now I'm going to go ahead and paint my board. And what you want to do is I'm going to paint the edges and my feet first, and then I'm going to go back and do the surface just because it makes things a little bit easier. You don't really need a whole lot of paint because this chalkboard paint really does a great job in coverage. It's kind of a one coat. It looks pretty good. And you don't want it to run or be gloppy because it'll dry that way. So you want to make sure that you brush out all your brush strokes. And don't forget all 4 sides of your feet. And turn it around and do the other side. You don't need to do the bottoms of the feet because no one's going to see that. Or you can if you want to, but it'll just dry to your work surface. This is just parchment, just a piece of parchment. Get all the sides, all along the edge. Get the other side. Get it all down in the cracks. Go back and check your work all around. Smooth out all your brush strokes. Now I'm going to go ahead and paint the top surface. Just put a little bit of paint all along the top. And I'm going to use the side of my brush to kind of smooth the paint across the surface. You don't want to scrub the paint into the board because it's wood and it'll raise the grain, meaning it'll make it a little bit rough or bumpy or rougher. So I'm just pushing the paint down in one direction. Make sure that you brush all of it smooth. You don't get any runs. And now we're going to let that dry. And you'll have something that looks like that. Okay, moving on to the next step, what we're going to do is prepare our photo cubes for our base. So what we're going to do is go ahead and take off all the plastic wrapping on all 5 of your photo cubes. And what we're going to do is we're going to line them up in a certain way. So what you want to do is when you take the plastic wrap off, be careful because these plastic cubes I've found do scratch fairly easily. So if you take a pair of scissors or a knife and really dig into that plastic wrap, you could scratch your photo cube, which it really doesn't matter that much, but you know, you don't want to scratch them up too bad. And you're going to notice that they're going to slide apart. So you have you're going to take your plastic wrap off, and then you're going to notice that it's two parts. You're going to have a top and you're going to have a bottom. That the opening edge is facing crossways, not towards you, but crossways. So to show you, I can actually stick my pen all the way through. So you see how that the opening is to the right and to the left. It's not facing towards me. It's facing the right to the left. Just like that. So that, can you guys see that? So when you open up the box, the opening is here. So it will close down on my finger like that. So you want the openings when you slide the two pieces apart. You want the openings to be on this side and on this side. And you want that to be the same across the board. You want to make sure that each opening is to the left and to the right, not to the front and the back. You want it to be from side to side, because you're basically going to be running that light strand, the fairy lights, all the way through, and then you're going to come back around. So you want to be able to go from box side by side by side by side. So you want to make sure that the openings are all the same. So when you slide these open, see how the opening is here, and when I set it back down, it's opening into the next box. So, and this one, when you slide it open, the opening is going right into this opening. So when I open this one, it goes right into this one. So all the bottoms will be, there's a tunnel. You're basically making a tunnel from this side all the way through. So you want to make sure that you have all your boxes facing the same exact way. So don't rely on the cardboard insert, because those have just been put in by the factory. You want to make sure that when you slide these open, that you're creating a tunnel from right to left, all the way across, all the way the same. And what you're going to do is you're going to take the cardboard insert out, and you're going to put it back together so it's back being a square. And two of the photo cubes you're going to take your marker. You need a little bit of a Sharpie. It doesn't matter what color, but you're going to mark the front, the side that's facing you. So if you set it on the table, this side is facing me and this side is facing to my left. I'm not talking about the top. I'm talking about the front. The front that's facing out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tilt it up to the camera so you guys can see it. But this, not the top. This is the top. This is the very surface. This side is where the tree is going to be growing out of. I'm talking about, this is going to be the side that faces out, and this is a side that's facing the end. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our marker, and very lightly and very small, we're going to mark the front, and we're going to mark the very left side. So these two sides are going to get vinyl, the design, our little vinyl design. So you want to take your marker and just make a small dot right in the corner. And it's important to make it in the corner, because if you put your dot out here, you'll see it. You want to be able to put it right in the corner. See my little dot? It's right in the corner. And the next, you're going to go to the left side and you're going to make a dot right in the corner. It doesn't matter which corner, but it matters which side. So you're going to do one on the left side and you're going to do one on the side that's facing you. This is the top. This is where the tree is going to grow out of. The tree is going to be growing out this way. So I know it seems a little bit confusing, but when you mark your sides that you're going to put the design on, it's really important, because when we take these apart, it gets a little bit confusing because it's clear, and trust me, when I was making the prototype, it got a little bit confusing. So it was really easy to just mark the edges that you need to put the vinyl on. So that's your the very first. So this is pretend like this is all completed. The very far left cube gets 2 dots. The very right cube gets 2 dots. The 3 in the middle, this one, and this one, only get 1 dot. So we're only going to mark the very fronts of those. But the very end cubes get 2 dots. So we'll mark in the very corner of the front and the very corner on the left side. The very right cube, we're going to mark in the corner on the very front and the very right side. See where we're going with this? We're marking the sides that are going to get the vinyl. So we're going to mark the front and we're going to mark the right side, not the top. Remember, this is where the tree is going to be growing out of. So you want to mark the very front. You guys can't see it because it's facing my belly. And we're going to be marking this side, which is facing this way. So we're going to mark in the corner here, just a tiny dot. And we're going to make a small dot right there in that corner. See my dot right there? And right there. Now we're going to place that back. Now the 3 in the middle, we're only going to be marking in the corner on the front. So we're going to tip it up and just put a mark right in the front. So the side that's facing my belly, going this way, is right here. We're going to mark that spot. It only gets 1. The middle cubes only get 1 dot. We're only marking the very front because that's where that's where the design is. See, the vinyl is already on this one. That's where you would mark, right under there, right at that corner. And then same with the last middle one. You would mark right in the corner. You can kind of see where my dot was. Right there. All right. So now we can put our marker to the side. And now you're going to get your vinyl out. And you guys, you don't have to use this particular vinyl. You can use any particular vinyl you like. If you have a particular favorite color or style, you can use any brand. Any of the brands that Joann Fabrics or Hobby Lobby or any brand you can do. This is the Dollar Tree brand. It's good and it works. So again, it's super affordable, and it comes in a bunch of different colors, but this is the vinyl paper permanent. Don't do the iron-on, guys. Watch for that. These boxes look a lot alike. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're getting the vinyl paper. Do not get the iron-on. You want the vinyl paper. We're not adding heat to these. Matter of fact, that's probably a bad idea with the plastic. So make sure that you get the vinyl paper for this. And it is the Crafter's Square, and this is the Dollar Tree. This is the short box. You can get the really long box, the 12-inch, but this worked great. And I got the bright red. But again, guys, it comes in a bunch of different colors. It even comes in glitter. But they've got white and red and green and glitter and gold and all kinds of colors. So you guys pick whatever color you guys like. But I just chose the red because I thought it was very festive. And then what you're going to do, when you get I've cut this roll up a lot, but when you roll it out, It'll be in a long roll. Matter of fact, it says that it's 48 inches, which, yeah, it would be. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut, say like this is all of it. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut yourselves a chunk at 12 inches. So you're going to basically roll it all the way out and then cut yourself a chunk that's at 12 inches. And then you're going to slice that chunk of 12 inch into these little cuts. And these look like they are, let me get a measurement out for you. I kind of just eyeballed it. But this is, it looks like a 1/4 inch. These little strips are about a 1/4 inch. So they're a 1/4 inch wide and about 12 inches long. And you can cut longer if you wish, but I found that if you made the strips really long, they're a little bit more difficult to manage. So, but the 1/4 inch is kind of important because if you make them really wide, then you're going to be covering up more of your box. So what you want to do is just have a little strip right there. So, but you're going to need about, I would say on the safe side, probably 13 or 14 of these 12-inch strips. But it just depends on how wide you actually make yours and then how long you make yours. So it's really up to you, but my strips are, they're about 12 inches by 1/4. So, but again, completely optional of what you want to do. You can make them thicker or thinner, but that's the measurement that I chose. And to get the strip into these little cuts, I recommend either using a ruler and a rotary cutter like this one. Dollar Tree does sell rotary cutters. This one I picked up from, gosh, I've had this one for a long time. But I would recommend one of these and a ruler, or my scrapbooking friends out there, I'm sure you've got one of these in your stash, a slide cutter, and this really worked well. So you would just put your vinyl in a 12-inch, and when I say the 12-inch that would fit on your slide cutter, and then you would just either eyeball it or measure it, put it over, and then cut your strip. And this worked out really well. You just cut it, and then you have your strip. So those worked out really well. A rotary cutter and a ruler would work fine too, but this worked out great. So, like I said, you're going to want about 12 or 13 of these pieces here. But again, it's completely up to you on how long you actually make your strips and how wide. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to start with the left box, and we're going to create the design that goes on that box. And what we're going to do is it's the same on the left box as it is on the right, except it's both on the front and on the very sides. This one and this one the same. The front is going to get an X design, and on the side it's going to get an X design. Because remember, we marked a dot on the front and we marked a dot on this side, the left side of the left cube. The right cube got a mark on the front and the right side. So the fronts are going to get designs and the outer edge is going to get the design. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get started with the left design. And this, remember, the very top was where the tree is going to grow out of, and the front and the sides get the design. So to make things easier, I'm going to take it apart, just slide it apart, and I'm going to set this edge to the side, and I'm going to now have this piece where it looks kind of something like this. And remember, our dot is in this corner, so we know it's this side that we're going to put the design on. So now you're going to take one of your strips. Mine are red, yours might be gold or sparkly or green, completely up to you, or even maybe a texture. I know that Dollar Tree carries a bunch of different textures like wood grain and whatnot, so that would be actually really cute too. So what we're going to do is we're going to create, and we're going to go around the whole edge. We're going to put a strip here, 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 and here. So we're going to basically make a box all the way around, and then we're going to put a crisscross in the middle, and we're going to make a barn door. So what we're going to do is, this peels really easily. So just peel back the edge enough where it'll stick on the side, and it's a little bit sticky, but it's not overly sticky. What we're going to do is put the vinyl on our cube now. So we're going to go this edge, this edge, this edge, and this edge. So we're going to make a box all the way around the outer edge, and then we're going to make a crisscross. So we're going to peel our edge, peel our vinyl, and we're just going to match the edge. And I'm going to have to scoot it down just a little bit so I can see it. And you're just going to hold it with your left hand, this side, and you're going to hold it on the edge on this side, and you're going to hold it taut, and you're going to match the edge of the vinyl with the edge of the cube, and just place it down. And I will say, the Vinyl Tree vinyl is pretty forgiving. So if you don't get it straight or on the edge the first time, don't worry, you can actually peel it up and replace it. So what you want to do is get one edge to the edge. Now don't worry if it goes off the edge. We'll fix that. Matter of fact, you want a little bit of a tail leading off the edge. And now see how this edge is pretty square to the vinyl edge, and the box edge is matched. So I'm going to put my thumb and hold that piece down. And now I'm going to take this corner and I'm going to match it up and square it and put my thumb down and then smooth it out. And then I'm going to take my wood stick, and I'm just going to smooth the edges, and I'm just going to burnish it down just so it stays a little bit better. A pencil would work, you guys. A popsicle stick would work really well. I'm just putting just a little bit of pressure down, and I'm just burnishing it down. Now I'm going to take my pair of scissors and just cut it off right there. And see how I have a little bit of a tail sticking out the edge. And you want that. You don't want it to try to match and cut just right to the edge. You want to leave just a little bit of a tail. And we'll fix that in just a second. I got an easy fix for that. So now I'm going to turn it around. And I'm going to put a piece of vinyl right here. And we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to hold it in your fingers. See how I have it stuck to my finger? I have just a little bit, about a 1/4 inch stuck to my finger. And I'm going to match it to the edge. And then I'm going to match it to this edge. And then check your work. And if you found that it didn't match fully to the edge, you can absolutely pick it up and move it around. And I'll show you. So this edge is matched pretty well. So I'm going to pinch it with my thumb and my finger, and then I can peel this up and then move it around. And then once I found that it's square to the edge, just pull it down and push it down with your finger. And then you're going to take your stick and burnish it again. Cut it off. Now remember, you want a little bit of a tail. And then you're going to move it again. You're going to do the next edge. And again, you're going to just stick it to your finger a little bit. Match edges. Get it as close as you can. Put your finger down and hold it. Check your work. And this edge is pretty good. Burnish it with your thumb. You don't want the long edge, you don't want a lot of overhang on this edge. It's okay to have overhang on the ends, but if you have overhang on this side, it can catch. So you want to make sure that you don't have a lot of overhang. So if you feel it, if you pull your finger against the vinyl and you feel it, you want to make sure that you reposition that so it doesn't hang over the edge. And cut that off. Give yourself a little bit of a tail. Just like that. Again, check your work. Make sure that it's all burnished down. And just really get in those edges, right where they meet. Now we're going to make sure everything is down, and that you can have a little bit of wrinkle, but you don't want a lot. So you want to make sure that everything's flat. Make sure that everything is burnished down. Now you're going to take your little your nail file, your sanding board, and you're going to sand the edges off. Now it's very important, again, to only go in a downward stroke. You only want to sand on the downward stroke. You don't want to go back and forth, because then you can peel up your vinyl. So it's very important to only sand downward. So you're going to sand down and away. And you're going to just cut the tails off on both sides. See how the little tails are coming off? Try not to sand the actual sides of your the photo cube, because they will scratch pretty easily. You're only doing the edge where the vinyl is. Once again, you're going to just sand down the little tails. You just want to sand down and away. And you want to make sure you support your plastic. You don't want to just hold it way down here and then try to sand. Don't hold it down here. You want to make sure that the side that you're sanding, you're holding on to. So I'm going to hold it right there, and I'm going to sand down. I'm going to hold right there, sand down. These little tails kind of go everywhere, so just make sure you collect those. A static clean. You'll have something that looks just like that. So you have a square all the way around the edge. So I'm going to set mine on a diagonal. And we're going to take another strip, and we're basically going to put a piece here and a piece here. So we're going to be making little X's. Take your piece, and you're just going to go right across right down the center of the junction here, right across there, and right across there. Once again, you want to hold it with your finger and find center and find center. And you're just going to push it down with your thumb. Just like that. Take your wood stick, kind of burnish it down a little bit. Cut your end off. And now you're going to make the other crossbar. Right down the middle. And right down the middle. Just like that. Burnish it down. Burnish down all the bubbles. And once again, we're going to take our sanding block and sand down and away and remove the little ends. Just like that. Remember to hold the plastic right where you're sanding. It's important to support the edge. See how I'm holding it? And now that I'm going to do this one here, I'm going to put my fingers right underneath. And now you have a little barn door. So cute. So all right, well, now we'll set this one to the side. And now we're going to do its mate. Because remember, we took this apart. So we're going to take and set this aside. And we're going to take its second half. Find that dot, and now this is the surface we're going to put this design on. So we did it on this one, and now we're going to do it on this one. And just rinse and repeat, basically. So we'll go around the edges, and then we'll do the crossbars. Remember to stick it on your finger to have control, and then find your edge. Place it down, and then find the edge on this side, hold it with your thumb, and then reposition until you get it the placement that you like. And then when you get it how you want it, just push it down with your thumbs. Cut the end off so you have a little bit of a tail. Take your wood stick, burnish it down right across the edge. We'll do this side now. Don't be afraid to reposition it. It's pretty forgiving. Burnish it with your thumbs. Take your wood stick, push it all the way down. Cut a tail. It helps to be able to look straight down right across the edge, the two edges where they meet, and that helps a lot. That way you can see both edges. If you need to, you can actually get a magnifying glass to look through to match those up, because they are a little bit difficult to see. But a little bit of overlap will be fine. You just don't want a lot because you don't want it to catch. Burnish it down. Cut a tail. Once you have your square made, burnish everything down well, and then take your sanding block or your nail file and make sure you go down and away. Down and away. You want to make sure that you don't have any of the little tails after you cut them off, that they don't fall back down in here. You want to make sure that they're not still attached. And now we'll put our crossbar in. Right down the middle. Cut a tail. Make sure you burnish that down. And we'll do a crossways. Cut the tail. And we got another little barn door. Make sure that you burnish it down really well. All the nooks and crannies, you can even use your fingernail, just really work it in. Make sure everything is laying down flat. And then take your sanding block, sand it down and away. Have a little barn door, just like that. And now you can match them back up again. So this, now remember, this one goes this way and this one faces you, and you want to make sure that your opening is side to side. So you want your opening to go into all the way through. So you're going to go all the way through like that. So you want to make sure that when you match these up, that the opening goes this way. So you're going to go right through there. See how that works? So you're making a little tunnel that's going to go all the way through. And that's why we marked our corners. And that is one box. Now you're going to create this design, the two X's. The very far left box gets an X on the front and the very left side. See how that works? So it's facing front and facing that way. The very right box gets an X on the front and the very right side. So now we'll go ahead and do this box. So this box is going to get an X on the front, and it's going to get an X on this side. Because remember, that's where we marked our little marks, our little marker marks. So we'll go ahead and take this apart. We'll set the top to the side, and we'll go ahead and make an X on this one, on this side, because that's where our little mark is. So we'll go all the way around the outside and then make our X. Don't forget to burnish it all the way down and burnish it right where each piece meets. Make sure you get all the little crevices. Push everything down so everything sticks really well. And then we'll sand off the edges down and away. Now we're going to go ahead and put an X on it. Once you get your X made, go ahead and burnish it down really well. And then go ahead and sand down your edges. And once you have this side done, you're going to take its mate and you're going to find which side has the little dot, and you're going to do this, you're going to do that side. So you're going to build the same on this side now. All right, and once you have both sides have an X, then go ahead and put those back together. We'll slide those back together. And then that sits on the opposite side. Now the 3 in the middle only get the outer edge, just like that. There's no crossbars. So we'll go ahead and then finish this one up. So this just gets the outer edge. And it's a little bit easier to add the vinyl with them apart. So I'm going to go ahead and slide the top off, and I'm going to go ahead and add the outer edge. Put it right to the edge. Cut that piece off. Make sure you burnish all the edges. Burnish down all the bubbles. Take your sanding block. And you want to make sure you get all these little guys because they can hide underneath, and then you put it all together and then you see one hanging out in the snow. So you want to make sure you get all the little scraps. And then we'll put this one together. Again, you want to make sure that the openings are cross all the way through. Okay, now that all of our vinyl strips have been added to all 5 of our boxes, so the outer 2 boxes got X's on the fronts and on the sides, and then the 3 boxes on the inside just got a square on the front, just like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to find center on the very tops of each box, and then we're going to do it the exact same way on every single one. Now we're going to drill holes in the tops of our boxes for where our little Christmas trees are going to grow out of. However, you don't have to do this step if you don't want to do it this way. As you can see, these are the trees that Dollar Tree sells in the 3-pack, and they already come with a little white base. You're more than welcome to leave the white base on the tree and just glue the base to the box so it looks something like that. You don't have to remove the base from the tree and then stick it down in. So if you don't want to drill the tops of your boxes, you're more than welcome to skip this step and just glue the bases to your tree. So this step is absolutely optional. So you can absolutely have all your trees just glued to the tops. I like the look of mine just growing right out of the plastic box. So I'm going to remove the bases from my tree. But what I'm going to do now is find the center of all my boxes and drill a tiny hole right in the middle. And how to do that is what you want to do is you're going to take a straight edge, and it could be any straight edge. You can use a ruler, you can use a piece of paper, as long as it is wider than the boxes. It needs to be at least as wide as the diagonal on your box. So what you're going to do is take your straight edge, whether it be a ruler, this is just cardstock, just a piece of cardstock, but you want it to be straight. And what you're going to do is you're going to find center on all of them. And what you're going to do is, this is the very top now. So now the design is facing front and it's facing towards my belly. So now this is the very top of our box. This is where the tree is going to grow out of. So we're going to find center. What you're going to do is take your marker and you're going to take your straight edge and you're going to turn your box on a diagonal, and you're going to put your straight edge at this corner right through this corner. So you're basically cutting the box right in half on the diagonal. And you're going to make a little tiny dot right in the middle, right at that edge. See, there's a little tiny dot. Now what you're going to do is you're going to turn it and go this way now. So you're going to go from this edge to this edge. You're going to find center, and you're going to make another little dot. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is center right there. So I'm going to go ahead and do it to the other 4 remaining boxes. So corner to corner, right in the middle, just a little tiny dot. Turn it, corner to corner, little tiny dot. And that's your center. It doesn't have to be exact. The trees aren't exact. The boxes aren't exact. So it doesn't have to be exact, but you want it approximately the hole in the middle. You can absolutely eyeball it if you want to. I have two dots here, so I'm just going to drill right in between them. Now that you have found center in all of your squares, we're going to drill a hole in the center where that dot is. And I have a drill here with a very tiny bit. I think this is a 1/16 bit, a very small one. The drill bit only needs to be as large as the end of the little stems that are coming out the base of the Christmas trees. So when you remove the white base on your Christmas tree, I'll show you. FYI, the little Christmas trees are a little messy with a little bit of snow, but when you pull the base off of your Christmas tree, this is the stem that I'm talking about. And see how the width of the drill bit is the same as, or roughly the same as the tree. So that's what we're basically making a hole in the tops of all the boxes to plant our trees. But again, you don't have to do the drilling. You can actually just glue the trees to the tops if you want. But if you want to do the drilling, go ahead then and take the piece that's got the dot. And I don't recommend just drilling straight into the plastic, just plastic on plastic. You want to go ahead and take it apart again. Put the bottom piece to the side, and you're going to take a block, and you're just basically going to set this so the wood supports the plastic. So you're just setting it. See how the board is going to support the plastic. So when I push down the drill bit through the plastic, I'm not putting pressure on the actual fragile plastic. The board is holding the wood. And it's a little loud, but it doesn't take much. Just take your time. And now there's a little bit of debris. I'm going to blow that into the trash. And now you have a hole for your tree. Just like that. And you'll want to do that in all 5 of your squares. And you want to make sure you get all the little bit of debris off of the plastic, like all the little bits. You want to make sure you just brush that off. All right, now that we're done with the drilling of all the holes, you got holes in all of your boxes. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and add the letters to the very center of the 3 boxes in the middle. And I spelled out joy, but you're more than welcome to change it up a little bit and put just snowflakes in there, or little trees, or little designs, or however you want to do yours. I'm going to place my snowflake in the middle, because remember, these are the outer boxes and these are the middle boxes with the wording, and I chose to do a little snowflake in the middle box. So I'm going to find center. I'm just going to eyeball mine, and I'm going to just kind of look straight down and place mine in the middle. All right, I found center for my snowflake. Now I'm going to mark the edges of my snowflake with a little bit of tape, so when I pick it up and glue it, I'll know where to place it back down. So I'm just going to go ahead and I put the tape on the back of my hand a little bit to take the stickiness away. And I'm just going to place the tape right up against the edge of the snowflake. And right at the bottom. Now I can put a little bit of glue on the back side of my snowflake and place it down. Now be careful when you glue the back side of your snowflake. It's pretty narrow, so you don't need a lot of glue, but you kind of want to work pretty quick. And then place it right where the tape is. And then hold it there until it cools, and then you can remove your tape. And then your snowflake is roughly in the center. Not perfect, but it's pretty close. And then we can add our letters, our J and our Y, on our boxes. So again, this is the letters that I chose. It's the poster board. It looks like this, and it's kind of they're just kind of jumbled them all on a piece of paper so it fits. It looks kind of like this. So I'm going to take my J, flip it over and find my J here. I already used some of the letters, so I don't think I have another Y, so we'll just pretend like I'm going to put a Y here, but I'll show you how to put the letters on because I got an extra J. So FYI on this, you get a couple of J's on this, but you only get one Y, and you get a couple of O's. So you're more than welcome to use the O's. See, you could use an O instead of the snowflake. But FYI on this, these are not forgiving. So once you place these down, that's it. If you don't place it where you like it, you'll have to scrape it up and use another one. So just be careful placing these in the center, and I'll show you a little trick. So be careful taking it off the backing. I'm going to peel it up. And again, I know that a lot of folks out there want it to be perfectly centered, but I can't help you with that because it's all about eyeball. Because you can measure it out and it won't look right. So you're going to want to eyeball this, but I'll give you a little helpful trick. Take something pointy like my wood stick here, or a popsicle stick like you've been using, or even the tip of a pencil, and just barely stick it just enough where it catches. You don't want, now don't let the letter fall off your stick. You just want to kind of stick it to your stick here. And now you can better eyeball. Now don't stick it down yet. I'm bracing my fingers on the table, and I'm going to be able to move this around and kind of eyeball it. So now what I'm going to do is just kind of get over the top of the letter above the box, and then that way I can eyeball where I want it a little bit better. And it helps to squint your eye just a smidge. And to me that looks pretty good. So I'll just lay it down. And be very careful. Kind of push it down. And then you have a little J. So it's coming together, guys. Look at that. Like I said, you would do the Y just like you did the J, and if you chose to do the O as well, you would do it the exact same way. You can just eyeball it, or you can use the little stick method and just make sure you don't stick it down. Like I said, if the alphabet makes contact with the surface of your plastic box, it's going to stick, and it's really difficult to get back up. So you want to make sure that you get it right on the first try. But the vinyl, as you well know, is pretty forgiving. So now we're going to move on. So pretend like I put a Y there. I'm out of those. I only had the one, and I used it on my little demo that you guys saw earlier in the video. So all right, so now we're going to move on to the next step, which is gluing the boxes to our base. So now that our base should be dry, and it looks something like this, and you got all the feet painted up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to glue all 5 of our boxes to this base. So again, I'm going to eyeball mine. I'm not going to measure it. You're more than welcome to find center on your board and then find center on the middle box and go from there. But I'm just going to line mine up and kind of eyeball it. So I'm going to put the center box in the middle, which is our snowflake box. And as you can see, there's a little bit of overhang. The box is slightly narrower than the board. So I'm just going to kind of center the box within the edges of the board. And then I'm going to build out. And I'm going to match my boxes. You're more than welcome to kind of stagger them if you want to, but I'm going to make mine flush all the way across. And once you get all the boxes on, you're going to make sure, so this is from the front, this is what it looks like, kind of like that. So now what you're going to do is center all 5 boxes onto that board. So I'm going to kind of scoot it around and see how I like it. And I can get a ruler and measure underneath the boxes to see how much each box is overhanging. And I'd say that's about 3/4, and I'd say that's about 3/4. And double check to make sure that that's the placement that I like. That's 3/4, 3/4. So that's pretty good for me. Like I said, I'm just going to eyeball it, and then I'm going to make sure not only is this the center square to the frame on side to side, but also front to back. And that looks pretty good to me. Make sure everything is lined up the way you want it. And I have everything flush to the front, flush to the back, and each of the edge boxes is off the base by 1/4 of an inch or so. I'll double check, triple check, quadruple check, and that looks pretty good to me. What we're going to do is you're going to hold the box left of the center. So we're going to glue the center box down first. So now that everything is square and everything is arranged just how you like it, we're going to hold on to the box with the J. We're going to push our hand down. We're going to hold that one firmly. We're going to remove the middle box, put a little bit of hot glue in that area where the box was sitting, and then replace the box back into that space. Get our hot glue ready. Get it close so that everything is just how I want it, and I got it all measured out and eyeballed. I'm going to hold on to the box with the J. I'm going to press fairly gently but firmly. I'm going to remove the middle box. I'm going to set it to the side. I'm going to add a little bit of glue, a mid-size amount of glue right in that space right on the board, and then I'm going to put the box back. And make sure you're flush with all the other boxes. Hold it firm. And it does not have to be perfect, guys. It does not have to be perfect. No one's going to notice if it's a little bit off. But you want to hold it until that glue firms up. And then you will build out. So then you can do either the left or the right, and then work your way out. And you just want to make sure that when you place the boxes back, they're square to the other box. So now I'm going to go ahead and move the right box, move that to the side. I'm going to put some glue down. Then I'm going to put this one back, and I'm going to make sure that it's flush with this one. I'm going to hold it until that glue firms up, and then you can do the edge. Put a little glue here. Just like that. And you want to hold it firm. You can't press real hard on these boxes because the pieces will want to separate. So you just want to be kind of firm with it, but you don't have to manhandle it. You just kind of be gentle with it. You just want all the boxes to line up. And remember, we did these. Now I'm going to go to the left side of the center box. And I'm going to go ahead and move that one. Make sure you get all the little fuzzies out of the way. Put a little glue down in there. Make sure it's flush with the center box. Hold firm. You can even squeeze it from the bottom. Gently. You don't squeeze it too hard. And then last but not least, we'll glue the far left. All right. Now once you have all your boxes glued to your board, it's going to look just like that. Well, except yours will have a Y or a design in this box. I ran out of the letter Y's, so I'll have to catch up to you guys, but it's going to look just like that. Now we're going to put snow in each base of our box, just like here, just like I got here. All right, the next step now is we're going to put the snow inside our boxes. So what we're going to do is take out our Scrub Buddies duster. You'll have 2 dust buddies, and what you want to do is just cut one in half. There's a little bit of a tube. There's a paper tube. You're just going to cut that in half, or you can even kind of tear it. And then you're going to get little pieces roughly about this size. And if it's easier, you can go ahead and just cut it. But you're just going to take it apart. And you're going to need 5 pieces about 2 inches. I want to cut this down in half. So you'll have a piece that's about that size. Basically, just going to be putting a little bit of snow right in the middle of each box. You don't want to overfill it because when you close the box, it's going to want to poof out the sides. So you want the piece just to be big enough to to kind of sit down in the middle of the box. So you really only want about a piece just enough to cover the base of each box. So you want it to be a little bit smaller than the palm of your hand. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a little bit more off here. You can always add more. A piece like that. Put a little glue on the bottom. And put it right in the middle. Just like that. And if you find that their snow is going into the next box, go ahead and glue that piece down. But be careful, it's very warm. Dry fit it if you like, just to see that works there. Cut the paper. I'm going to cut the excess paper off. I don't really need that. Just cut the paper part short. Put a little bit of glue on there. Right in the middle. Squeeze it down in there. Another piece about this size. Put a little glue on there. Put it right down in the middle. Cut this piece down a little bit. Set this one on the end. Right in the middle. And this one needs a little bit more, so I'll take a little piece. Feel free to just kind of build as you go. And I'll put this piece right in there. Put that right on top. Just like that. All right, so once we have snow, a little snow nest in the bottom of each square, we're gonna add our lights. And these are the fairy lights that I'm gonna use. It's got a wire base to it. You want to make sure that it has a thin wire base. You don't want anything that's real bulky. Otherwise, when you put your lights in here, your boxes won't close all the way. So you want to make sure that you get a light strand that has real thin wire to it. And what we're going to do is just basically string our lights through all the boxes. This particular light strand is pretty long. It might even be a little bit too long. I know that Dollar Tree does carry wire-based fairy lights, so I think that a shorter strand might actually be a little bit better. I think this one's probably 7 feet, and I think Dollar Trees are a little bit shorter than that. So basically, we're just going to add the light. So I'm going to just wrap the strands around my fingers a couple times for each box. And then put it over the snow and kind of pinch the snow and pull it up through. And then we're going to do it across, all the way across. Take your fingers and kind of wrap a couple of times around and set it down on the snow and kind of pull the snow up through that light strand. It doesn't need to be perfect, but the snow kind of holds the light strand in place. Kind of like that. And repeat. 1, 2, 3. And then pull the snow up through the light strand. 1, 2, 3. And you guys can place the lights in your boxes however you want. If you just want to lay it across the top or underneath, however, it's completely up to you. Slip that down in there like that. I'm going to run the extra back across. Like that. And now we're going to add our Christmas bulbs. So what you can do is kind of get the top ready and then just add the Christmas ball inside as it closes down. Just move it to the next one. Get your top, slide it down. You just want to make sure that the little bulbs, the light bulbs, aren't in the track as you're slipping the box lid down. And just slip your bulb in. Push down. Keep working it all the way across. Put the lid on. And then before you close the lid all the way, you're going to slip your Christmas bulb in there. And push down. Put your lid on. And before you close it all the way, put your Christmas bulb in. And last but not least, and then you got something that looks like that so far. So cute, you guys. Oh my goodness, so cute. All right, guys. So now that you got your little snow in there, you have the light strand, and you have your Christmas bulbs. The next step is we're going to add our burlap runner across the top. So this is the Crafter Square burlap crafting fabric. This is a Dollar Tree item, and we only need just a little bit of it. We need about 13 inches long and about 2 inches wide. Again, you guys can use anything you want. If you want to use fabric, if you want to use ribbon, I just happen to be using burlap, but a Christmas ribbon across the top would be really nice. Really, it's completely sky's the limit, however you want to do this. But you want it to be about 13 inches long and about 2 inches wide. So now what you want to do is I'm going to fray my edges a little bit. So I'm going to scoot that out of the way. I'm going to just take the edge and just kind of peel a couple of layers until I get something that looks similar to this. So that there's a little bit of a frayed edge, and I'm going to repeat that on the back side. Pretty cute, guys. I'm going to take one more off the front. And then don't forget to fray the edges. So you're going to do this edge. And this edge. Now that will go right over the top, and your little trees will grow right out of your burlap. Isn't that cute? So cute. Now it is time to add our trees. So once you have your burlap positioned on top of your box, just loosely, we're going to prep our trees. Again, you guys are more than welcome to just leave the bases on your tree, and then you will just glue the bases to your burlap rug, and that way then they'll just sit on top of your box just like that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the bases off my trees, and they just kind of just hold it at the base and just wiggle the base back and forth until they pop off. And then what you want to do is you're going to trim the little tail of the tree down, just the stem of the tree. You're going to trim that down a little bit. So right now it's about a 1/2 inch. You're going to cut a little bit of that off. I'm just going to trim off a little bit off the bottom. Say about like that much right there. And you're just going to take a pair of wire cutters, wire snips to do that. And then you're going to lay your trees out and decide the placement of your trees. And I had previously laid mine out, so I'm going to do this placement. I'm going to do some short ones on the ends and some medium ones in the middle. That's how I'm going to place mine. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hold the burlap on top of our boxes, and we're just going to slip the tails of our Christmas trees right into those holes that we made earlier. I think I'm going to trim this little tail down just a little bit. Now we're going to place our trees right through the burlap into the drilled hole. And just kind of almost like you got to screw it in. You'll have something that looks like that. And then we'll take the next tree. Slip it down in. FYI, the larger trees, their stem is a little bit larger, so it'll take a little bit to actually wiggle it through. It helps to lift up the burlap just a little bit and poke your tree through the burlap first, and then you can find your placement into. Some of your trees might have a little bit of a loose fit to it, so you can absolutely add the tiniest little bit of hot glue to help out your tree just a little bit. All right, now that we have all our trees planted, now we're going to add our little bow tree toppers. So you're just going to take a little bit of twine or some little bit of ribbon, or you can absolutely buy the pre-made little tiny bows, the little tiny bows that Dollar Tree carries. I'm just going to quickly make some bows here. You're going to take about 10 inches, actually it's about 12 inches, and you're just going to make some little bows. So you're just going to pinch, you're going to take the left strand and go around and over the top and back through. You're just basically tying a shoe. You're going to have a bow about that size, and now you can tweak it. So you just pull down each little strand, and then that can shrink the bow to whatever size you want. And I think my bows are about an inch wide. They're about an inch wide. But you guys can decide how big of a bow you like, if you would like a bow at all. If you have little stars or little bells, you can absolutely add those to the tops of your trees. And then I'm going to go about an inch down and make a little knot. So we're going to finish the ends of the little bows off. So just make a little knot and pull tight to about an inch away from the bow itself. Cut the excess off. And do that on the other side. You got a little bow. Do that again. Take a strand that's about, I would say about 12 inches. Make a loop. And pinch. Go underneath, back over the top, and under through. Just like that. You're just basically tying your shoe. Show you that again. Make a loop, pinch, go around, over the top, back through. You're just tying your shoe. Pull snug. And then you can take your little tails, because now I have a bow that looks like that. So you're going to take your tails and pull it down. So it's going to shrink your bow. And pull that down and shrink that side. And then pull tight. And then adjust again. You can pull that down a little bit more. Pull that down a little bit more. So now I have a bow that looks like that. And pull tight. And then I'm going to match it up with the other ones. It looks pretty good. So now I'm going to put a knot on the tail about 1 inch down from my little bow. Cut the excess off and make a knot about 1 inch down. Match the other side. Cut the excess off. And now you got 5 little bows. So cute. And now we're just going to glue them to the tops of each of our trees. So we're just going to take each bow, put a little bit of glue right at the base, right underneath, and then hold it to our tree. Just like that. Put a little glue right underneath, put right on top. Little glue right on top. Make sure you get all the little glue strings. And you guys, look, you did it. Look at it. Look how cute it is. It's so cute. Little Joy centerpiece. Well, mine says Joe, but you get the picture. Isn't that cute though? I told you guys could do it. It's so, so cute. Could you imagine on your Christmas table or your entryway right when your guests come in? So cute, you guys. Look how cute. So cute, you guys. I hope you guys had as much fun doing this tutorial as I did. If you liked it, please subscribe, press the like button, the notification bell, and all those good things. And tell your friends about 3 Barns of Charm, and they can do these too. It's so cute. It's so cute. So I'm going to have plenty of videos coming your way, so keep your eyes and ears peeled to 3 Barns of Charm, you guys. So fun, so much cuteness, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye.